Is the red light on?
Mhm.
Okay, now we can start. Okay, I guess we left off, but there was a story I wanted you to tell of what happened right after you got married and you decided to remodel the house.
Oh, yes. Well, of course, it was fall, and Daddy was plowing down in the field, and Dad decided where the old main hall was,
This was your dad.
my father decided that the living room would be much improved if that wall was taken out. Because we had a door to the living room, a door to the hall, a door to a closet, 3 doors right in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiled the looks of the dining room. It made it look like I don't know what. And then a door to the porch. So there were 4 doors. 3 in a row on one side, and then right next to it was a door to the east.
Uh-huh.
And that was what the dining room looked like. And so we got at it and started ripping and tearing the whole thing apart. After it was done and it was all plastered up freshly, and it made a larger room. Well, you know, a matter of 4 feet on a room makes a whole lot of difference.
What did Daddy say when he came up from plowing?
Well, he didn't say very much. He wasn't angry, really, but I suppose he thought the house was going to be torn to pieces. But that was it. That was
The extent.
well, yeah, fairly well. Well, then there was where the den was when we were. That was a bedroom. It formerly was a pantry on one side because the dining room, which we used as a dining room, was the kitchen. Years before, when the house was built, it was a kitchen. And then there was a pantry on one side, not quite as large as the next, but then there were 2 little rooms. Well, the bedroom downstairs was really about 2/3 of what the room is now was the bedroom. Then the rest of it was the pantry. But we didn't take that partition out. That was out. But then it had been used as a bedroom. But on the other end, where the china cabinet was, that was a closet. You remember where the china cabinet, and it had deep drawers like that?
Mm-hmm.
You remember the depth of the drawer. Well, that was a closet. So that wall we took out. We didn't have a closet in that room then.
Oh.
And it made that room that much larger.
Uh-huh.
You know, it was a nicer looking room because of it.
Did you do this all about the same time then?
Well, we didn't do it exactly the same time, but
Uh-huh. While you, in the early years.
And then there was a door into the pantry and the bedroom at that when I went there. There was just that, the china closet was on one side, on one end, and then a single door, just a single door into the bedroom on the other end. Well, Dad decided that an arch, a double door, would make it better, and it was better.
Mm-hmm.
So that was rearranged.
Oh.
That double door was
Oh,
put
I
in
see.
there, but you wouldn't remember that.
No.
But that was the ripping and tearing.
Uh-huh.
Then of course the kitchen was a year later, or better, no, about a year later. It was after Jack was born
Uh-huh.
that the kitchen, that addition, and the bathroom was put on.
Okay, to get back then to the, I guess the next thing would have been when Uncle Bob had his stroke, when he was living with you.
Yeah, he was living with us. Well, it came on, kind of suddenly, and he just,
And Jack and Jerry were little boys then,
well, yeah. Jerry was really an infant.
a baby.
Yeah, he wasn't very old. And well, I didn't think of him ever moving away, He was my care.
Uh-huh.
And we never had a bad word between us, ever. I think he liked me. And one day he came in and he said, "Catherine, will you cut my hair?" Well, that was really something. I used to just trim the back of Dad's neck, and I didn't think of trying. He had been going down to the barber shop, and he'd get his hair cut, and he'd walk down anyway. Maybe he wasn't feeling that good, so I started to cut his hair. And that was where I learned the barber business, to get down to cutting hair.
Uh-huh.
So I did, and ever after that, that was my job. Then I cut Dad's hair.
Mm-hmm. After Uncle Bob had the stroke, did he die right away?
No, oh no. He it seemed to me, time, in those days, seemed to go kind of fast. No, he wasn't able to do anything, but, well, he was an old person, and I took care of him.
Uh-huh.
And we used to have a couch that he could lie down on during the day. He wasn't really crippled that much, but he was kind of tottery. His feet, well, he was just not weak exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, I can remember one time, Aunt Nell, I think it was, and her daughter Catherine, and I don't remember about Aunt Mary coming, but anyway, they were there and for a visit, which was fine, and he had to be careful of eating. I knew what he could eat, but if, like cabbage salad or anything sweet sour, it would turn his stomach. And one Sunday we were eating at the table in the dining room, if you please. We weren't in the kitchen. The whole table was full. And I was watching him. And I knew that he wasn't far from burping all over everything.
Oh.
So I pulled his chair out, and how did I don't know how I got him out on the porch. He couldn't walk that well. He wasn't a wheelchair. I can't remember, but I got him out on the porch. And it was the old porch. It wasn't a sun porch then. It was just a porch. And I knew he was going to vomit. So he vomited. And then we had a pile of ashes. And Catherine Dittman, she would think I knew a whole lot what to do. And I ran and I got some of that and threw it on top of what he had disposed of. She couldn't believe it. Such a thing. And so, well, but I hated to see him leave.
Oh, he didn't die at the farm then?
No. He lived quite some time.
Oh.
Jerry was able to, I think Jack must have been 3 years old.
Oh, I see.
And no, they took him home.
Uh-huh.
Do you want me to tell you the story about
Sure.
Aunt Mary Ann and the banker and Bob Jones?
Sure.
Okay, they came up to, this was after Uncle Bob wasn't dead at that time.
Oh.
No, I don't know who they had take care of him while they were up, and they came unannounced up to the bank at Wayside, went to the bank, and the banker wouldn't give him Uncle Bob's certificates, as he used to call them, and they had to come up and get Daddy.
And that was Armand Blauert
Mhm.
was the banker?
Mhm. And so Daddy went down, and there was no fuss about it, because I didn't know how much Uncle Bob had in the bank, and naturally he got interest on his money, and so they took it and they left. And the big thing about it, they drove in the driveway, and the banker was doing the driving. And he must have put on a little bit too much gas, backing out. They went right straight across the road into the ditch on the other side of the road. And Aunt Nell in the back seat looking up. She said, I don't know whether we're ever going to get home. That was that story. And that was the end of it. Never heard anything of who got what or no. And we got a bill besides
A bill.
for Aunt Mary Ann taking care of Bob Jones or Bob Roberts, Uncle Bob, for his care.
Oh,
And he didn't live that long.
his own sister.
His own sister sent us a bill. But Dad never got a bill. And I don't think Marilla ever did either. I suppose they wanted his wages.